Some people try lung supplements hoping for a noticeable change in how they breathe, how much energy they have, or how comfortable their chest feels during daily life. But after weeks or even months, many end up with the same conclusion. Nothing really changed. No clear difference. No obvious improvement. And that leads to a frustrating question that more and more people begin to ask. Why do some lung supplements don't seem to make any difference? At first, the assumption is usually simple. Maybe the product wasn't strong enough. Maybe it needed more time. Or maybe another brand would work better. So people switch products. They try different formulas, different ingredients, different promises. But the experience often repeats itself. And over time, the frustration builds not just about the products, but about whether anything actually works at all. But the real explanation is often more nuanced than most people realize. Because respiratory supplements are usually not acting on a single, isolated problem. They are trying to support a system that depends on multiple processes working together at the same time. And if those underlying factors aren't aligned, the effects can feel subtle or even unnoticeable. Breathing comfort depends on several interconnected mechanisms. Airway clearance needs to function efficiently. Mucus needs to be managed naturally. Inflammatory responses influence bronchial comfort. Circulation affects how oxygen is delivered throughout the lungs. And histamine responses play a role in how the body reacts to seasonal or environmental triggers. If one or more of these systems is not significantly affected, then a supplement targeting only one pathway may not create a noticeable change in how someone feels. Think of it like watering a plant that also needs sunlight, nutrients, and proper soil. If you only adjust one factor slightly, the overall result may not look different. Not because nothing is happening, but because the change is too small compared to the system as a whole. Another important factor is expectation. Many people expect supplements to create immediate or obvious sensations. But respiratory support, especially when based on natural compounds, does not always produce a dramatic before and after feeling. Sometimes the effects are subtle. Less resistance during breathing. Slight improvements in comfort during activity. Small changes in how easily the body handles environmental stress. And those small shifts are often difficult to notice in isolation. This is one reason why plant-based ingredients are often combined in respiratory formulas rather than used alone. Mullein is traditionally associated with supporting natural mucus clearance. Bromelain has been studied in relation to balanced inflammatory responses. Maritime pine bark is known for antioxidant activity and circulation support. Quercetin is often explored for histamine balance. Stinging nettle is associated with upper respiratory comfort. And tiger milk mushroom has attracted attention for long-term respiratory vitality. Each of these ingredients targets a different aspect of the respiratory system. But even when combined, results depend heavily on the individual's baseline condition and overall respiratory environment. The real issue isn't always that the supplement doesn't work. It's that the system it's trying to support may not be experiencing enough imbalance for the change to be noticeable, or the approach may not be addressing the full picture of respiratory function. Because breathing is not controlled by a single switch. It is the result of multiple overlapping systems working quietly in the background every second of the day. And when those systems are already relatively stable, the difference a supplement makes may feel minimal. Understanding this helps reframe the frustration. Instead of assuming failure, it becomes a question of alignment. What is actually being supported? And how does that fit into the larger picture of respiratory function? From that perspective, the absence of a strong noticeable effect does not always mean nothing is happening. It may simply mean the changes are subtle, distributed, and gradual rather than immediate or dramatic. And that is often how the body actually works.